Peter Eggen is back, and well, not in the way that I wanted him to come back. I thought he was going to come back with something really good, but he just released this. What is up, beautiful people? My name is Tyler Lunsford, and welcome back to another magic trick review here on the channel. Today, we are talking about Peter Eggen's new trick, Caffeine Rush, and oh boy, do I need to talk about this, because there's some good, there's some bad. Well, there's a whole lot of bad, but it is very exciting to be here today to talk with you about Peter Eggen's new trick. I really thought he was making a comeback on this one, and maybe he is with the black version, but the white version right here, definitely not. Today, we're going to talk about Peter Eggen's new trick, Caffeine Rush. I'm going to go ahead and dive into all the things you need to know about whether or not you want to purchase it. And spoiler alert, you definitely want to stick around, because if you're buying this version, oh boy, you need to know a lot of things about it. I will be performing Caffeine Rush to the camera in this video, but first, what actually is Caffeine Rush? Caffeine Rush is a trick where you can take a small object and penetrate it through the lid of a coffee cup. The objects you can use for this are nothing larger than a coffee creamer cup, and even that is pushing it. Now here's a video of me performing to the camera, and you'll also see me do the switch that I did specifically to the camera, so that way you can have the lid examined by the end of it, but I'll touch on that a little bit later. And that's my performance. The coin can be signed, or whatever object it is, it can be signed going into the lid of the cup. With that said, you can have them kind of poke like the lid of the cup like this at the beginning, the bottom, and then you can go into it. They can't obviously inspect the actual lid of the cup beforehand, but there's a certain spot you can tap it to make it feel solid. There is a section on the tutorial video where they teach you how to do a switch, which the switch that you saw in that video was one that I kind of did to camera, combining with the one that Peter teaches. It's just a little bit easier to ditch the gimmick lid when you have a frame that no one can see anything outside of. So I basically did the switch that Peter teaches in the video, but then I also kind of coupled it with a little bit of camera features to just ditch the lid without putting it in my pocket or anything. I'm just trying to be completely transparent with you, so that way you know what you're buying and you know that you will need to switch out this gimmick lid, which means the Caffeine Rush gimmick is examinable if you want to do a switch, but while it's on the cup at the beginning, no, it is not examinable. How are your angles for Caffeine Rush? You want to keep your audience mainly in front of you for this effect, because when you put an object on here, depending on how big it is, you might need to just cover it like this, and then, you know, you got to do the dirty work back here. But if it's something as small as a coin, you could probably do it surrounded if you didn't want to worry about, you know, misdirection for the switch of the lid. But you can literally just put the coin on there, cover your hand, boom, send it through, and then show it's in here. Do the switch to the lid. What's the quality of the gimmick? The gimmick itself is handmade, and it looks like it's a pretty intricate gimmick to make. Would I know this? Well, not really, because they don't teach you how to make it on the tutorial video in case it breaks, because there are some delicate materials involved in this, and I'm worried, it hasn't happened yet, but I am worried that if this does break on me, I'm not going to know how to fix it, because there's nowhere in the tutorial video that they teach you how to fix it, and that's really, really annoying. I also got the white version of the gimmick, because I just don't typically use the black colored to-go coffee lids. I thought the white looked better on my coffee cups that I have lying around that I use for to-go coffee cups, and ultimately I am very sad that I made this decision, because the black I think actually camouflages the gimmick a lot better. If you're gonna buy this, I highly recommend that you do not buy the white version of this gimmick, because it just does not look as good as what the black version looks like on camera. In the tutorial video, it looks like it camouflages the gimmick. Don't buy the white version. I regret buying the white version, because under studio lights you can kind of see the gimmick. At least I don't know if you can see it on camera. I can see the gimmick literally right here, like staring at it. This is very obviously like something has been done to this coffee lid, and that sucks. So it kind of sucks, because I feel like, you know, I just wasted my money, because I don't know how much I'm actually going to use this. Whereas if I had the black version, maybe I would use it more, because it looks, you know, more, I guess, regular. It doesn't look like it's a different shade or anything, or like anything's been done to it, because the black camouflages all the gimmickry about it. Is there anything you have to buy or supply? Well, you will have to buy your own coffee cups. Now, the coffee cups I had actually did not work with these lids, but then I just went and bought some new coffee cups at Walmart, and they ended up working fine. So they should work, the ones that you have lying around the house. If not, just go to your typical Walmart or grocery store near you or something and just buy some to-go coffee cups, and they should fit. You get two different lids with your purchase. You get a gimmicked one and a non-gimmicked lid. Is there anything you have to repair? Yes, I've touched on this a little bit. What I want to touch on it a little bit more now. This is my biggest negative with this, is that if this breaks on me, I'm going to have no idea how to fix it. I mean, I could probably figure it out, because I make a decent amount of gimmicks. Like, I like being arts and craftsy, I guess, whatever you want to call it. So I could probably figure it out and I'd probably have fun doing it. The average customer is not, though. They're not going to want to sit around and freaking deal with this thing if it breaks. They're going to be frustrated. And honestly, it looks like a pretty complicated gimmick to try to actually fix if something does break on it. I'm a little bit worried about that, especially because I paid $35 for it, that I am going to have to repair this thing in the future. And if I do, I'm not going to know how. Then again, I actually haven't had to repair it yet because it hasn't broken on me, but I am very upset because I feel like they should at least teach you how to make your own and let you know, hey, if something does happen, this is how to fix it, or I don't know, just touch on that at least a little bit in the tutorial video. The tutorial video is also really short. It is just like an 8-minute video, 9-minute, it's less than 10 minutes. And I just wish it would have covered more like how to reconstruct this gimmick if something does happen. I just really wish I would have gotten the black version. Ultimately, that's the worst part about it. I think for $35, this would be a fair trick if I got the black one and you couldn't see how gimmick to this one actually looked under the lights. And also, I wish that the tutorial video included how to make the gimmick again. And if they included all that stuff, I think it'd be worth the price. But for how this gimmick looks in this light and not being able to make it again and just being limited to putting certain items in the same, because I mean, even a coffee freaking little creamer type cup is, I'm opening the gimmick right now and it looks like a little bit of a struggle to get a coffee creamer cup through this thing. I mean, it's definitely going to be a tight fit.
That's what she said.
Just be aware, you are going to need to use small objects for this. I guess you can use misdirection if you're using like a signed object to dump it out into the spectator's hand, then do the lid switch, but ultimately I think this would be worth the money if it had these adjustments made to it. Something good about this trick is that it does make a cool social media video, so if you don't want to have to worry about switching out a coffee lid, then you don't have to worry about it that way. It can be quite visual, and you take a coin and just put it on top of a coffee lid, and then, you know, rub your hand over it and it's gone into the coffee cup, and then dump it out, whatever. It's a cool visual, it's a nice little social media video, but in person, I just don't think I'm going to be performing this that much. If you're going to buy it, definitely, please don't get the white version, definitely get the black version. Personally, I'd probably stay away, but that's just me. That's my opinion. I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you want to watch another Peter Eggink review, then you can click this video right here. There, I talk about a Peter Eggink trick that I've reviewed in the past. So go ahead, watch that video, and I'll see you there.